Welcome back to the Payment Show podcast, live from Money20 USA. We're joined by David Dowhan, CPO of SavvyMoney. David, welcome to the show. Please introduce yourself. Tell us a bit about your role at Savvy.
Sure. So David Dowhan, I'm the Chief Product Officer here at SavvyMoney. Been here about 3.5 years, and it's been a fun growth story for SavvyMoney as we've gotten to over 1,500 financial institutions we work with as a company.
Brilliant. And some very exciting news today, $225 million investment. If we start with that, I mean, we've got to talk about it, right?
Sure, very exciting. I mean, look, I think it's a testament to the business that we built and a lot of awareness in the financial community that we're onto something really big, right, in terms of our support. So PSG, Canopy, both incredible partners, and so we really are looking to them, not just for the capital, but also some of the strategy, some of the strategic introductions we believe they can help us make. So it really is about accelerating the good work we've done, and I think it's a good testament to the strength of the company.
Right. And we wanted to dive into your latest research today on financial wellness, and particularly looking at that Gen Z part of the world. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Certainly. So we've done, so many of our credit unions, banks, they're always asking about Gen Z. Hey, how do we attract more Gen Z partners, right? And so part of SavvyMoney, what we solve for is providing kind of a fintech experience inside of a bank or credit union. And we're constantly innovating, and so they ask us, like, hey, how can we do better with Gen Z? So we conducted a survey with about 1,000 Gen Z members to really get their impression, kind of what's working for them, what are they looking for, and we discovered some very interesting statistics. Generally, I would say that really Gen Z is they're motivated by financial independence, but there's really gaps in their confidence and their knowledge about finances in general. So just some facts and figures for you. So for example, only 14% are really confident in their own knowledge about financial services. And think about that. There's so many resources out there. There's ChatGPTs, there's websites, right? Yet only 14% are feeling confident, right? 86% want to know more about financial education, right? There's a hunger for that. They don't want marketing, they don't want someone pushing products on them, but they want someone to explain, educate them, and move them through the process. That's really where the gap is. It turns out that Gen Z, they want to become financially independent. In fact, 91% of the people that are surveyed, they have financial goals. It's not like they're sitting around playing video games. Like, they really have goals and they're motivated to do it, but they really, they don't know exactly how to get there. And there's some anxiety we're seeing out there. Roughly 64% of those folks are worried about their income, or are they going to be able to save enough money? So we're seeing some anxiety, but at the same time, this kind of thirst and this need for education.
Yeah. And are we doing enough to educate the youth of today on financial services and finance?
I don't think so. And frankly, not just the youth, it's everybody. Everybody can use primers in terms of financial education. So for example, we also provide, SavvyMoney, provide a lot of tools and capabilities for people just to learn more. I mean, how does a credit score work? What if I open a new account? What does that do to my credit score? So Gen Z really wants to know that, but frankly, you and I need to understand that too, so we can manage our credit most effectively.
A nice segue there into your CreditSnap acquisition then as well. Can you tell us again a little bit about that?
Sure. CreditSnap really is kind of another step in the vision of SavvyMoney. So at SavvyMoney, we really are about educating consumers about credit score, how to make it better, and then we also promote various loan offers to those folks that are pre-qualified. What CreditSnap does is it allows us to take the consumer from education to an instant application where they can apply online, get approved online, sign their documents online, and actually book the account and move money, all digitally online. So CreditSnap is a huge step forward for us. And frankly, that's what Gen Z is looking for. They want that fintech experience, click here, sign, you're done. They don't want to walk into a branch and have an hour conversation with someone, right? They really want that kind of more fintech experience. Seamless, easy to do, and so the CreditSnap acquisition really opens us to this entire market where it's now a possibility.
And then I guess we can't really be at Money20 this year and not talk about AI, but specifically for you, I wanted to ask, are banks doing enough with AI?
So I would say no, they're not doing enough today. And we actually had a partner advisory board. So we got together, 40 of our top partners, and we had a roundtable discussion, open discussion about AI and what it means to them. And there's a thirst and a hunger to do more with AI, but what I'm hearing is some of the compliance concerns are slowing them down a little bit more conservative. They're not really sure where to start. And so some of our partners are using AI for what I'll call more back office applications. So streamlining their own internal operations, but not enough of them have actually productized, introduced AI into the fabric of their product, and that's something we're working on at SavvyMoney, to make it not just AI for AI's sake, but think about all the data that we have about someone's credit report. Wouldn't it be great if you can log in and say, hey, my credit score went down by 50 points, what happened? AI is capable of doing those kinds of things and creating that real-time interactivity that's personalized for that individual member or user. And frankly, that's what Gen Z wants as well. They want this level of personalization that they're just not getting from their open websites.
Yeah, and I guess Gen Z, are quite fickle as well with the brands that they trust, and they want to look at everything a company's doing behind the scenes. How are you guys winning over the trust of those Gen Z individuals?
And so we really, SavvyMoney is kind of behind the scenes, right? Even though we power some 1,500 plus financial institutions, we really treat it as a white label solution. So we are kind of behind the scenes. And so the way we engender trust is by building on the bank's own brand equity. So it's all branded for the bank, all the communications are branded for the bank, so it look and feels like my bank. In this age of fraud, that's really important, right? You don't know who you can trust and which links to click on. So we allow each of our bank partners and credit union partners to kind of essentially express their brand. And that goes for our customer communications, our tone, all that really reflects the values of the bank. So that's how we kind of engender trust in that model.
No, that's great. And we're at Money 2020, obviously. We like to ask all of our guests why this is such an important event for them.
Well, it's kind of where things happen, right? This is where the key industry leaders, this is how money moves today and into the future. So I learn a lot when I come here, just talking to the various vendors, and we see a lot of our partners too, which is really important to be able to kind of reach out to the partners. So really good on the networking and the connectivity, but I also learned a lot of good stuff every day, or every time I come to Money 2020.
And competitors probably revealing insights into their own products and services for someone in your role, right? You want to see what the competition's doing and what they're building as well, right?
Absolutely. And and the roadmap's always evolving, right? Many of our banks and credit union partners look to us to do innovation. So it's kind of on us to say, hey, here's what we're seeing, sort through the good and the bad, and say, hey, we're going to put this on the roadmap and make it happen. So that's really part of the role, is to sort through that stuff.
Really interesting. Thanks for sharing that with us. And just one final section. So we ask all of our guests at the very end of this segment that we run, we have a section called the Shelf of Shame.
Okay.
It's where you nominate something that really grinds your gears. It can be in payments, it can be in fintech, in life in general, if you were to nominate something that you could banish forever, what would you go for?
Something I could banish forever. Gosh. I'd have to say, I guess some of the contracting complexities in our industry. There's a lot of legal overhead because of the compliance, and so I think it creates friction, maybe healthy friction at some times, maybe unhealthy at other times. So just the third-party agreements, and we have to sign, and you have to sign, so that friction can be an impediment to implementation and innovation, if you will. So that's one of the things that I could banish, or maybe at least simplify a little bit. That's what I would say.
Can you chuck NDAs in there as well? It's the day of my life.
NDAs, you got it, right? Any kind of, exactly. Look, and I know they serve a valuable purpose, but gosh, can we make it simpler or easier so that it's not this huge pain every time we have to do it?
There's a platform in the UK that are building like a centralized NDA framework so that thousands of companies can basically work off the same model or the same mutual NDA, and it just removes a lot of that back and forth.
That is interesting. So it's almost like, once you sign, you can just say, hey, you've got my token, I agree to the token, and like you're good to go.
Exactly, so you're all in that same NDA ecosystem, effectively. Look, brilliant. Thanks for coming on today, David.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Looking forward to see what you guys do with that massive investment as well.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it. All right, take care.